Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. Being deeply loved by someone gives you strength, while loving someone deeply gives you courage. We're born alone, we live alone, we die alone. Only through our love and friendship can we create the illusion for the moment that we're not alone. Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies. Time is too slow for those who wait, too swift for those who fear, too long for those who grieve, too short for those who rejoice, but for those who love, time is eternity. Love has no age, no limit, and no death. Where there is love there is life. 'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them humanity cannot survive. To love and be loved is to feel the sun from both sides. Love is friendship that has caught fire. It is quiet understanding, mutual confidence, sharing and forgiving. It is loyalty through good and bad times. It settles for less than perfection and makes allowances for human weaknesses. A loving heart is the truest wisdom. Let us always meet each other with smile, for the smile is the beginning of love. Love does not begin and end the way we seem to think it does. Love is a battle, love is a war, love is a growing up. The one thing we can never get enough of is love. And the one thing we never give enough is love. In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Patriotism is supporting your country all the time, and your government when it deserves it. Guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. My fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. I love America more than any other country in this world, and, exactly for this reason, I insist on the right to criticize her perpetually. Who sows virtue reaps honor. Patriotism consists not in waving the flag, but in striving that our country shall be righteous as well as strong. The willingness of America's veterans to sacrifice for our country has earned them our lasting gratitude. I only regret that I have but one life to lose for my country. There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured with what is right in America. A man's country is not a certain area of land, of mountains, rivers, and woods, but it is a principle, and patriotism is loyalty to that principle. Man is a military animal, glories in gunpowder, and loves parade. America is hope. It is compassion. It is excellence. It is valor. There is nothing nobler than risking your life for your country. I have long believed that sacrifice is the pinnacle of patriotism. We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Hope in reality is the worst of all evils because it prolongs the torments of man. Hope is not the conviction that something will turn out well but the certainty that something makes sense, regardless of how it turns out. To live without hope is to cease to live. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul, and sings the tunes without the words, and never stops at all. A little more persistence, a little more effort, and what seemed hopeless failure may turn to glorious success. I find hope in the darkest of days, and focus in the brightest. I do not judge the universe. Let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future. Hope is like the sun, which, as we journey toward it, casts the shadow of our burden behind us. The work goes on, the cause endures, the hope still lives, and the dreams shall never die. Courage is like love, it must have hope for nourishment. Hope is a waking dream. The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by the bad people but the silence over that by the good people. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. A good beginning makes a good end. Every man is guilty of all the good he did not do. Goodness is about character, integrity, honesty, kindness, generosity, moral courage, and the like. More than anything else, it is about how we treat other people. Good judgment comes from experience, and a lot of that comes from bad judgment. Despite everything, I believe that people are really good at heart. Doing well is the result of doing good. That's what capitalism is all about. There is nothing either good or bad but thinking makes it so. The fragrance of flowers spreads only in the direction of the wind. But the goodness of a person spreads in all directions. A good character is the best tombstone. Those who loved you and were helped by you will remember you when forget-me-nots have withered. Carve your name on hearts, not on marble. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven. For he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and on the unjust. The true measure of a man is how he treats someone who can do him absolutely no good. Nothing in all the world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. Don't be afraid to give up the good to go for the great. Yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. It is never too late to be what you might have been. Always be yourself, express yourself, have faith in yourself. Do not go out and look for a successful personality and duplicate it. Excellence is a continuous process and not an accident. Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world. In life, as in chess, forethought wins. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have greatness thrust upon them. Every story I create, creates me. I write to create myself. Memory is the diary that we all carry about with us. I'm like a comeback kid, you can't keep me down for long. Faith is taking the first step even when you don't see the whole staircase. Pray as though everything depended on God. Work as though everything depended on you. To one who has faith, no explanation is necessary. To one without faith, no explanation is possible. When you focus on being a blessing, God makes sure that you are always blessed in abundance. Faith is the bird that feels the light when the dawn is still dark. Be ye faithful in small things, because it is in them that your strength lies. Faith consists in believing when it is beyond the power of reason to believe. If you have God on your side, everything becomes clear. Faith is a living, daring confidence in God's grace, so sure and certain that a man could stake his life on it 1,000 times. In my deepest, darkest moments, what really got me through was a prayer. Sometimes my prayer was, help me. Sometimes a prayer was, thank you. What I've discovered is that intimate connection and communication with my Creator will always get me through, because I know my support, my help, is just a prayer away. In faith there is enough light for those who want to believe and enough shadows to blind those who don't. I am still far from being what I want to be, but with God's help I shall succeed. To have faith is to trust yourself to the water. When you swim you don't grab hold of the water, because if you do you will sink and drown. Instead you relax, and float. Faith is not belief without proof, but trust without reservation. We are twice armed if we fight with faith. We must learn to live together as brothers or perish together as fools. Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I remember. Involve me and I learn. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. He who learns but does not think, is lost. He who thinks but does not learn is in great danger. A wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. Learning never exhausts the mind. A single conversation across the table with a wise man is better than 10 years mere study of books. I learned long ago, never to wrestle with a pig. You get dirty, and besides, the pig likes it. He who would learn to fly one day must first learn to stand and walk and run and climb and dance. One cannot fly into flying. God lets everything happen for a reason. It's all a learning process, and you have to go from one level to another. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? I've learned that you shouldn't go through life with a catcher's mitt on both hands. You need to be able to throw something back. I am always doing that which I cannot do, in order that I may learn how to do it. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning. I am always ready to learn, although I do not always like being taught. The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. It always seems impossible until it's done. You have to dream before your dreams can come true. A dream doesn't become reality through magic, it takes sweat, determination and hard work. Do the difficult things while they are easy and do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more. so that we may fear less. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. Never give up. Today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. Some things are best left to memories. Yesterday is but today's memory, and tomorrow is today's dream. Nothing is cooler and more attractive than a big comeback, and that'll be me. The best part of beauty is that which no picture can express. Conflict cannot survive without your participation. That I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I am afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. Respect your efforts. Respect yourself. Self-respect leads to self-discipline. When you have both firmly under your belt, that's real power.